This is Dan and Margie from the Gen-Xers. We know it's been a little bit since we've been here, a couple weeks to a month, but the old arthritis has been acting up again. The immune system's been pretty crazy. And not to mention, the 25% tariff on YouTube videos has kept us out for a bit.
Right.
Thankfully, it's been lifted, and we're back. So, hit that like, subscribe button. Catch you on the flip side. We're going to tell you about the Maria Bamford concert we just saw.
As you said, we've been on hiatus for a little while, and I'm really happy to report that you've been feeling better. We've both been feeling, pretty good.
My crappy old insurance. I can't say their name because they're out to get you. Finally did approve a medicine, so we'll see. It'll be about another month before we find out how good it's really going to work, but could be.
Right. But we've been feeling good, so we planned this trip to the Maria Bamford concert, and a whole day before the trip, a whole day before the concert, right?
Yeah, we went to see our daughter in the big city,
Mm-hmm.
and that was always fun, or that's always fun.
Yeah.
Went to a place called a vegan deli butcher and got a Reuben. No meat, no cheese, but it was good.
I got a lobster roll, a vegan lobster roll that was, our concern. I'm not vegan. I'm still omnivorous, but I lean
Carnivorous.
I lean vegan because you're vegan, and so we cook a lot of the same things together. It's just easier, right? And I know a big concern of yours is this actually going to taste and look like meat? Because that is not what I want as a vegan, as a vegetarian. I don't want the stuff that looks and tastes like meat. That's maybe for somebody who's transitioning to that lifestyle, but not for somebody who hasn't eaten it in 20 years. And this deli made these delicious sandwiches. They looked like the regular Reuben sandwich or the lobster roll. They smelled like it. The taste was very similar without tasting like meat. They did not attempt to taste like meat. It tasted like something completely different, yet very, very similar and very delicious.
It was good. It had the essence of a Reuben.
Yeah.
Um,
I would say mine had the quintessence of a lobster roll.
and let's just see. Then we chuggled on down to the miniature museum.
Yeah.
Which, with my arthritis feeling like it's been doing, I was afraid it'd be a little bit too much walking. Then I realized, well, it's a miniature museum. How big can it possibly be?
Well, there you go. And there's the other thing.
It was about as big as a Dollar General store. If that gives you an idea.
Yeah. Dollar General store for scale.
Now, what are your thoughts on the miniature museum? What do you think of that thing?
I thought it was quite possibly the activity most aimed at the older demographic that I've ever done, besides bingo.
We have been to bingo. Yeah.
We've been to bingo, and that was pretty somewhat elderly feeling, although it's fun.
I mean, we're no spring chickens, but we're probably the youngest people in there that day. And we're firmly in the, on the Gen X side, of course.
We were whooping it up in there.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think I'm not a gambler, really. But if you're going to gamble, bingo is probably the most exciting way to do it. I mean, if you're going to pull the slots, that's what, a 1-second endorphin rush?
Right.
Bingo, if you get a weight or whatever, every number, your heart just starts pounding. You're sweating. This is going to be it. Give me that B5.
N38. Yeah, so we visited this miniatures museum. It was everything I expected and more.
I wasn't quite what I expected.
Okay.
If you've ever wanted to go to a Dollar General store full of nothing but dollhouses that some random people slapped together and called themselves internationally known, then this is the place for you.
Yes.
If, like me, you're thinking maybe you'd see the world's smallest working banjo, no, nothing in there worked.
No. Yeah, well, no, there were some things that worked, but I totally get what you're
Except
saying.
the people selling the museum part. They're working.
Right.
They're shilling.
There were some cool things in there. Like there was a dollhouse that had a basement, which I've never seen. I've never seen that. I've never.
How did I miss it?
Seen the likes, okay? And I came home and told people about it, all right?
Sure.
Because that's what us old people do.
Look, I mean, some of it was impressive enough, I guess, if you like dollhouses.
That's right, and I do, and it was lovely.
You walked into the place, and it's a gift shop, and there's a little chairs, and there's a little table, and then the lady comes out and says, "Hey, you think that's cool? The amazing stuff is in the museum in back. $8 to get in."
Well, yeah.
We go in, exact same crap they got out front, except it's put together.
That's not how it was. That's not how it was at all. You refused to see the nuances.
Maybe
their
I'm just not a
exhibitions.
nuanced person, yeah.
Yeah, you were not as enthusiastic about this stop as I was.
It was fun. I mean, I don't mean to poo-poo on it.
Yeah.
It was fine.
No, it was fun. It was fun. We had a good time. We also, all before this concert, by the way, a very full day, we also made friends with a new dog, which is just as exciting as making friends with a new person.
There's a dog that tried to kill me at one point and hates men, like most of society.
So let's talk about this Maria Bamford concert. We are definitely comedy nerds. I know you are a big comedy nerd, self-professed comedy nerd.
Yeah, I first saw Maria Bamford probably where I first saw a lot of stand-up comedians I ended up loving. Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn, which aired for a few years on Comedy Central.
I just became anti-war as a result of seeing a play by Tim Robbins, because that's where I get all my news is from live theater.
That was a good show.
It was a really good show.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of comedians sitting around talking about the news of the day, but mostly just railing on each other and burning each other and, goofing off. That was what I liked about it.
OJ is not guilty, the jury is. Let's start with that.
A lot of people don't know. Pat's about 87, 97 years
No,
old.
no, go.
And they didn't have jury systems when Pat was young. They still had curly white wigs.
You can go back and watch them on YouTube, and you might not know what stories they're talking about, but watching Patrice O'Neal and Colin Quinn go at it, it's funny as crap, man.
It was a really good show. It was kind of a Friday or Saturday night show, I believe, like a
I
later
think it
night.
was nightly, wasn't it?
Was it nightly?
I believe
Did he
for
do
a
it
couple
that
years, and then the Colbert Show took its place.
often?
Also good, but I do miss that Tough Crowd. I don't know if it'd last today because, they did talk about controversial topics in a very frank way that people don't really do these days. It seems like people are afraid they just tiptoe around everything.
Right.
Nobody wants to talk about anything too touchy for fear of being labeled something.
I
don't
think
know.
it might fly. I think it might fly with some warning labels, or whatever.
Well,
But
we've talked about before wondering how Patrice O'Neal would do in today's world. Who knows?
yeah, I don't know.
The world needs Patrice O'Neal, maybe. Anyway, Maria Bamford. So then I saw her for years. I guess they're various stand-up things. And then early 2000s, I guess she really started showing up everywhere. She did a YouTube or web series. I don't know if it was YouTube, the Maria Bamford Show, which is little short things of her talking directly into the camera.
It's the Maria Bamford Show! I was a marginally successful comedian living in Los Angeles for 14 years doing stand-up, but I never got my own sitcom, and then my boyfriend turned out to be bisexual. It's the Maria Bamford Show. Hey!
She had some pretty famous appearances on Conan. And then Lady Dynamite, which we both loved on Netflix.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. 2 seasons of chaotic madness. It's just about her life as a bipolar 2 person. And I do wonder if she's ever thought about moving up to bipolar 1. If I ever get to interview her, I'm going to ask for sure. I'd really like to know that one. But whatever. It was a hilarious show. So anyway, we get to the concert.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We get to the concert. The concert was great. It was a great venue, by the way. Very intimate. I don't think there were more than maybe 300 to 500 people.
Maybe it was I'm so bad at doing these things, but maybe a 500-seat venue, really good for a stand-up. Plenty of people there, but probably enough, still to feel intimate.
Yeah, very nice venue. My one beef was the seats were not very nice for an old person who had just walked all day at the miniature museum.
No, I've got the hips of a 98-year-old woman. It was not good for me.
Maria Bamford was amazing. I thought it was a good mix of kind of fantastical stories. You know, she pulls out her voices.
Yeah, she does some great voices.
Candy, candy cone, gummy snakes, Mentos, cookies, soup, nerds.
Her characters. It was a mixture of that and some very relatable stories about today's world. You know, as far as mimicry goes, her Midwestern woman, which sounds kind of like Neanderthal man, Midwestern woman, was spot on, probably because she is originally a Midwestern woman. But just spot on. Amazing.
If you want people to like you, you just listen to them.
Like I said, very relatable. She would stop every once in a while and make some personal comments or talk to a couple people in the audience. There wasn't a whole lot of that, or, you know, any riffing or anything like that on anybody like some comics do. Just, you know, honest back and forth with audience members. Got the audience pretty involved, and excellent show. Great job, Maria. I was very happy to see you.
Me too. I mean, she's long been one of my favorites, and it did not disappoint. Her opening act, Jackie Cation, well, she was very funny. She did like tight 15 or 20 minutes, self-proclaimed Karen, but she made being a Karen very funny. If you're going to do it, that's with everything. If you're going to do it, make it funny at least.
Right.
If you're going to be an asshole, be a funny asshole.
Right. Yeah. That's what I strive to be.
But yeah, I've kind of avoided lately, you know, on YouTube any of Maria Bamford's newest stand-up because I knew we were going to be going. And it was all new material to me. I mean, you know, some comedians are recycling material their whole career. This was all pretty new, all very funny. Like you said, it was a mix of telling her good humor, storytelling, her voices, breaking out into funny dances, some physical comedy there. Mm-hmm. The whole thing was just... It was really great. It started right on time, which we got there right on time. We thought we were going to be late. So we didn't have to wait at all. As soon as we sat down, the lights went out.
Yeah, we slid into our seats right in time. We were, woo. So, yeah.
So, yeah, if she's coming to your town, I highly recommend it. I wanted to try to get in touch with her and see if we could interview her, but I've been feeling so bad I didn't do it. Maybe next time.
I would highly recommend for the economy as well, especially today. In Tariff City, in Tariff Country, very economical. You're gonna get a lot of entertainment for your buck.
Yeah, what are tickets? $30-something maybe.
$30-something. They got higher, you know. The closer,
scalpers were selling them for, you know.
The closer we got to the show, and the more it filled up. But if you see a lot of comics coming, you can get fairly cheap tickets at a nice, intimate location like we did. So
very nice. Good show.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
You need to go see a comedian. You guys need to hit like and subscribe.